I launched this podcast on December 31st, 2022. Barely made it, barely before we got into the new year. And at that time, I was actively running my first service-based business. So I didn't have any strategy around the content I was creating. I was just focused on creating the content and just putting it out there to get started, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I noticed that I started showing up on social media, posting consistently. I was trying to do all the things. I was on Instagram, Facebook, Threads at some point, YouTube, Pinterest. I was everywhere. But I noticed that my DMs were quiet. My calendar was empty. My inbox was zero. And here's the hard truth. Content creation is not a marketing strategy. It's just a tool. Without the right strategy behind it, you are just spinning your wheels, or better yet, creating an online directory of information. So in today's episode, I'm sharing the 3 actual strategies that move people from scrolling past you on social media to becoming your next client. By the end of this episode, you will know exactly which one to start with. So if you're excited like I am, tune out the distractions, lean in, and let's get started. You're currently working a 9 to 5, but you know you're called to do more. You feel unfulfilled at a job you've clearly outgrown. You ignore the quiet nudge prompting you to move in a new direction because you're afraid of losing your predictable income and stepping into something God-sized. If that resonates with you, you are in the right place. Welcome to Start That Business podcast, where you will find the clarity, strategy, and systems you need to start your service-based business without leaving your job yet. My name is Chichi Okomadu. I am a business strategist, an execution coach, and a Jesus follower. I knew I was called to start a business, but I struggled with lack of clarity, self-doubt, and the fear of losing a predictable income. My lack of courage kept me stuck until I traded it for obedience to God's calling. I left my job, built a 7-figure service-based business, and ran it for 13 years. Now, I help other Christians working a 9 to 5 do the same. You don't have to stay stuck in unfulfillment, fear, doubt, or lack of clarity. It's time to partner with God and step boldly into your calling to start that business. You know the one I'm talking about. Yes, that one you've been putting off for a long time. I want you to picture this, and maybe this is you that I'm describing. It was definitely me. So picture someone who posts every single day for 3 months. That's 90 days. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on Threads, they're on YouTube, they're on Pinterest. They create the reels, the carousels, the quotes, the stories, everything you can think of in terms of content. They're consistent, they show up, they maybe have a podcast. They're doing everything the guru told them to do to put content out there. And after 90 days of doing this, they have only 3 followers. And these 3 followers are their family members. They have 0 clients, and they have 1 very bruised ego. Does that sound familiar? That was me for a very long time. You see, I would create content and I would pray and just put it out there, posting and praying and hoping that somebody will find me and listen. And it was not a discipline problem because I was consistently posting. It was a strategy problem. I didn't have a strategy behind what I was doing. So I was creating this online content directory that people will listen to or read or scroll through, and it was very valuable, but it wasn't leading me to closing more leads or clients like I expected to. Now, there's a difference between being busy online, posting content, and actually building a pipeline that leads to sales or leads to getting that new client. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in today's episode. Now, content creation doesn't equal marketing strategy. Content creation is just one expression of the strategy. It's not the strategy itself. And I read a book called Nail Your Niche. It's a book I recommend to anyone that is starting a business, anyone that's trying to understand what they offer, who they are called to serve. I recommend that you buy this book and you read it. I've spoken about this book before in a previous episode. I'm going to drop a link to the book in the show notes. Now, in this book, that is where I learned about the 3 user attraction strategies that I'm going to go into in a little bit. And most new entrepreneurs don't even know that this user attraction strategies or marketing strategies exist. They just create content and they just put it out there. And I don't want you to make that mistake because I made it for a long time. The first user attraction strategy is called the organic marketing. Now, this one is very common. Now, organic marketing the right way, because when I was creating content and posting, that was organic marketing, but I was not doing it the right way. The strategy piece was missing. Now, organic does not just mean posting on social media, like I already said. Organic marketing means building visibility through your own channel, like your website, and your borrowed channel, like social media. And you're doing this without paying for placement on those platforms. So organic marketing is free. You're not paying. You can sign up for social media accounts, start creating content and posting. You are not actually paying for the social media account. It's free to use. So you're getting placement on that platform, but you're not paying for it. Organic marketing includes long-form content like podcasts, blog, YouTube, short-form social content, SEO, and list building activities. Those things fall under organic marketing. Now, the key distinction to organic marketing the right way and the way I was doing it is that organic marketing should be strategic. So it's a strategic content that is leading somewhere. So that was the missing piece. I would create the content, but there was no pipeline. It wasn't leading anywhere. I would create the content and say something like, oh, if this resonates with you, comment below. Okay, they comment below, but where does it lead to? It doesn't lead anywhere. Your organic marketing should lead to a destination. So it should either lead to your lead magnet, it should lead to the offer you are selling, or it should lead to your email list. So that's where it becomes strategic, so that every content you're creating on social media, you make sure you add the strategy piece at the bottom to say, okay, this content, I needed to lead to my lead magnet. I needed to lead to the offer I'm selling. I needed to grow my email list. That's what transforms your organic marketing from just being a content directly online to actually a sales pipeline or funnel that leads your potential client to the ultimate destination you want them to go to. So that is how you make it strategic. Now, this strategy is best for people who want to build a long-term authority and presence online and have time to invest in content creation. This is also best for people who don't want to put up a lot of money up front in attracting new or potential clients to their businesses. They want to start in a way that is affordable for them where they are. Now, I must say that this method or this strategy is slow because you are showing up, posting content every day, and you know what each content is supposed to do. So each content is supposed to lead whoever is looking at it to a destination. I mentioned 3 destinations earlier that it should lead to. So that's where the strategy is. So it's a slow burn, it's a slow grind, it's a slow build, but it works in the long term. So a practical starting point for anyone that wants to use this strategy to grow and attract new clients is to pick one long form content plus one social media platform and drive everything either to one lead magnet or one offer that you are selling. So you see how we just built the strategy. So the strategy is I have one long form content platform, I have one social media platform, and everything I create leads to either one lead magnet that leads to my one offer. So that is the strategy. So when I sit down to create, I'm asking myself, where is this? Where do I want people to go to after listening to this? So that is one practical starting point you can use if you are using this strategy. Now, the second user attraction strategy that you can use to attract leads to your business is called collaborations. Yes, this one I'm learning to do, and I'm hoping that as I go into 2026, I will lean more into this. Now, this is the fastest way to borrow an audience, an existing audience that already trusts someone else. Now, examples of collaboration include you are a podcast guest on another podcast. So that podcast already has an audience. That audience already trusts the host, and the host brings you as a guest to that podcast. So now you are able to reach even more people than you would have reached if you were maybe doing it yourself or you didn't even have a platform in the first place. You can become a co-host in a workshop. You can do a joint venture with another business where you partner and both sell their services to an audience that is already primed to receive that. You can engage in a referral program, referral partnership. You can be a guest blogger on another person's blog that is already thriving. So you see how collaboration can fast track you even further than the organic marketing. And with these collaborations, a lot of them are free. You don't have to pay for them. And why this collaboration strategy works is you are not starting from zero. When you create a new social media account, you are starting from zero. So you start from 0 followers and you're posting every day and you're trying to build your followership until you get to this maybe 1,000 followers and you keep going. But when you use the collaboration strategy, you are walking into an audience that is already built. So you are not starting from zero. You are showing up in front of people who are already warm to receive what you have to offer. This collaboration principle is called other people's platform. That's the principle you hear. It's being used in the real estate industry, in other industries. So you're leveraging other people's platform. OPP is what they call it. Other people's platform. So you're pretty much showing up in rooms where the invitation already exists. And if you're a podcast host and you know another host that you offer maybe parallel services and both of you can benefit in sharing audiences, you can reach out to them and say, hey, will you like to be a guest on my podcast? And I can be a guest on your podcast. And it becomes a podcast swap. And we're both leveraging each other's audiences so that you can grow and they can also grow. So collaboration is such a beautiful strategy that you can use to attract leads and grow your business. It's best for people who have something valuable to say, but they have a small audience of their own right now. So when you're starting out, you know, I have something valuable to say, I have something valuable to give, but my audience is small right now. My email list is small right now. Who can I partner with? Who can I collaborate with so that I can leverage their audience and grow my own audience? Now, a practical starting point for this strategy is to identify 5 people in your niche or your industry with an audience and pitch a value first collaboration. I just gave an example of a value first collaboration. You are a podcast host, you know another podcaster that you can collaborate with. You pitch, say, hey, come and be a guest on my podcast. I will be a guest on your podcast and we can exchange value. You know, I love talking about value exchange. It's always about exchanging value. So that is a practical starting point you can use for this strategy. Now, the third user attraction strategy is called paid advertising. Yes. So all those ads you see on social media, people, where it says at the top, sponsored, those are paid ads that people paid for to promote their services, even to a larger audience. Now, paid advertising, this is the strategy that is the fastest way to scale your visibility. Like if you want 1 million people to see what you offer all at once, you can literally buy ads to market to 1 million people if you have the money to do it. This is good when you have something proven to promote, 1. 2, when you are trying to determine which marketing asset resonates more with your audience. So those are 2 places where you can use paid advertising. Now, I know the gurus will say, oh, wait until you have a proven offer. But in my first service-based business, I actually used both and I saw the benefit of using both. So when you're just starting out, if you have a small advertising budget, that is good. Create maybe 2 different marketing assets and pay for ads to promote them, then see which one your audience is gravitating more to. So when you do that, it helps you know, okay, this content is resonating. Now I can keep creating organic marketing content around this one that is doing well as an ad. Now, you can continue doing that until you now prove what you're selling and you have more and you now want to scale and go all in. Then you can put more money behind that. So that's a way you can use paid advertising when you're just starting out and when you want to use it to scale. Now, this includes Facebook, Instagram ads, Google ads, sponsored content on a podcast, on a blog, boosted post on social media platforms. So these YouTube ads, these are all examples of paid advertising that you can use to scale your visibility and attract even more leads that you can convert to paying clients. Now, the mistake I see people making is running ads and spending so much money on that ads when they have not validated their offer or their lead magnet. Like I said earlier, it's great to use the ads to test what is working at a small scale, but not putting so much money into it at the beginning because you are just validating or you're trying to test, okay, which one is resonating. Now, once you have tested and you've gotten some data and you've actually offered that service to paying clients and you've offered your lead magnet to paying clients, now you can now put so much more money into it to scale because paid ads, they amplify what's already working. They don't fix what is broken. So it's great to use them at a very small scale when you're starting to test and see, okay, what is my audience resonating with? Then once you have validated that, okay, this lead magnet is what they're gravitating to, or this offer is what they're gravitating to, now you can put more and more money behind it. And now this marketing or user attraction strategy is best for people with either a small budget or a really big budget. They have tested or they can use it to test their offer And once it's validated, they now go all in. They have a clear conversion path. So they have a clear pipeline. Okay, this is how the lead comes in. This is what they do next. This is how I sell to them. This is how they become a client. So that conversion is clear on what they're doing. A practical starting point, like I've already mentioned, is to start by testing your message organically. So once you test your message organically and you see a couple of your messages that are resonating, you can run a small ad to test. Maybe you create 30 pieces of content in a month and you notice that 3 out of that content has the highest engagement or highest rating. You can do a small ad to test those 3 even to a much broader audience than what you have currently in your organic platform and see how those 3 do and see which one comes up to the top. Then continue creating more content for the one that comes up in the top until you have validated your offer, you have tested, and you have this clear conversion. Then down the line, you can now put so much money behind it. Knowing these 3 strategies is one thing. Choosing the right one for your business and building the systems around it is another thing. And that is what we do inside the Start That Business Accelerator. Now, this accelerator is a coaching program for Christians ready to launch their first service-based business with a real framework and real support without leaving their job yet. Now, the only way to apply for the accelerator is by attending the Start That Business Live workshop. The next live workshop is happening on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026 at 12 noon Central Standard Time. To register, go to fromjobtobusiness.com. I will also drop the link in the show note. All right, let's keep going. So how do you choose your first user attraction strategy? Don't choose based on what looks cool or what you see others doing, or you see people opening social media accounts on TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, you name it. You might not have the same time bandwidth as they do. Choose based on your current bandwidth. What do you have the bandwidth to handle right now? What are your existing skills? What is your timeline to launch? So all these things should be the factors that help you decide which user attraction strategy to start with. And the word start with is the key word, because what you start with doesn't mean you have to stay with it throughout the life of your business. You can layer other strategies as you continue to build your business. So here's a decision framework that can help you decide which one to start with. If you have a low budget, plus you have some time available to actually create content and post consistently, maybe 3 days a week, once a week, 2 days a week, you decide your frequency, then you can start with organic marketing. That's the easiest to start with. When you have a low budget, you want something free, you have some time in your hand, start with organic. Now, if you have a small audience, but you have strong relationships, maybe you've built relationships throughout the course of your career and you're able to leverage those relationships, then you can start with collaboration. You can reach out to those connections and say, hey, can you put me on your lineup to be a speaker at your workshop, or to be a speaker at your virtual summit, or to be a contributor on your blog? You can leverage those relationships. So start with collaborations. Now, if you have a proven offer, maybe you have been doing this for a little bit, maybe freelancing your services on maybe Upwork or Fiverr or any other freelance platform, and you have a proven offer, plus you have available budget, then you can consider paid ads. Now, the biggest mistake I see a lot of new entrepreneurs making is trying all 3 all at once. That is a recipe for burnout. Yes, because what it does is you spread yourself so thin across these three strategies and you master none of them. So focus is the best business strategy. Pick one strategy, go deep, get results, then layer it with the next. Just like I said, picking one strategy is not a death sentence. You can layer other strategies once you have mastered one and you keep growing your business. So what got you to the first client would not be what scales you to the 10th or 100 or 1,000 client, but you need that first client first to start. So pick one strategy and start with that. Then as you scale, you can layer other things in. Now, what does commitment to one strategy actually look like? So let's use the example of the organic marketing strategy. Let's say you pick the organic marketing strategy and you commit to it for 90 days. So you create a 90-day content plan, you mapped out everything, and that 90-day content is supposed to lead to your lead magnet so that you can grow your email list and you can nurture that list to sell your offer. So that is the strategy with the organic. Then once you have done that for 90 days, you create a pitching system with a weekly outreach email built in to reach out to potential people that you can collaborate with. Then you decide to layer onto that a testing budget with a clear path for how they will go from becoming a lead to a client, and you test your organic message to see which one is resonating. So that is what a 90-day commitment to one strategy can look like. God doesn't call us to do everything. Even when he was creating the world, he could have created the whole world in one day, but he started 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like that. So you too have the same ability to do that. You have just gotten the information you need to make that one decision on the strategy you are going to start with. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start with one strategy that makes sense to you where you are right now and build from there. Your first client is not waiting for you to go viral on social media. They are waiting for you to just show up consistently in one place. And this is exactly the kind of clarity and execution support I provide inside the Start That Business Accelerator. But to access that accelerator, you have to come to the live workshop. On Saturday, May 2nd, 2026, at 12 noon Central Standard Time, I will be hosting this live workshop. To save your seat, go to FromJobToBusiness.com. All right, as we wrap this up, I want you to choose a strategy, commit to it, and trust that God will bring the increase as you move in obedience. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I pray it made you feel seen, taught you something new, and encouraged you to take action. If it did, please hit the follow button so you are notified when a new episode drops. It will be a huge blessing if you left a review for this podcast on whatever platform you are listening from right now. It's the number one way I know this podcast is serving you, and it helps more Christians just like you find this show and take that first step toward their business. Until next time, remember your expertise is needed, your calling is real, and I'm here to help you make it a reality.